just keep going this way. I told you, pull over and ask somebody where we are. All right, well, let's see if we go a little further. Maybe we'll see a sign. I told you, go to the Cumberland Farms. I'll go in. And I'll just keep driving and driving and driving because I really don't want to do that. So now that's a blessing for me, right? I don't have to get the... But she's right, because I drive 30 miles out of the way and I never ask for directions. But yet I'm still complaining about it, right? So it's a blessing and a curse where now we communicate with people. You can be right in front of me.
Yeah, right.
Don't even look at them.
People do that.
I know.
Matter of fact, they showed the video. The girl was texting and she fell into the manhole. The electric company was doing work down there and she fell right in it. She was so consumed by the cell phone. You see it all the time. You see people crossing the street.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not even, remember what your mother used to tell you, look both ways before you cross.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I can't take my eyes off the phone.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing and a curse. So we have to, be careful. We get consumed by a lot of different things. All right. Jesus said in John 10:10. Okay, let's go to John 10:10. See, not only does God have a purpose, this is beautiful, but so does Satan. Because in John 10:10, it clearly says that the thief purpose. So that means God has a purpose for us, and guess who else has a purpose for us? Satan, to nullify God's plan. Now look what it says. The thief's purpose is to steal. What does he steal? Our peace and our joy. And to kill. He kills us what? Spiritually. And destroys our spiritual life. But he can't steal our salvation. Heaven is our home. Thank God for that. Now look what Jesus said. My purpose is to give them a rich and satisfying life. So now, ask yourself, I'm a Christian. Do I have a rich and satisfying life? Yes, you do. You just might not see it. You're seeing things merely from a human perspective, not from God's. Because Jesus said, my purpose is to give them a rich and satisfying life. Give them peace and more abundantly. So, what are you going to believe? What's going on in your twisted head or the Bible? I'm just not seeing things the right way. My perspective is off. My mind is taken over. My intellectual mind is taken over what God is trying to tell me through His Word. I'm trying to be God here. That whenever you're miserable and your peace is taken, is you're trying to replace God. That's the problem. And you're not letting Him do the work He needs to do. Whew. That's a hard one to swallow. Because it says, don't sin by letting anger control you, because anger gives the foothold to the devil. Why do we get angry? We get angry when things don't go our way, when people don't listen, when we try to control them, we get angry at them. We're saying, you know what? And you get all, and you don't talk to somebody for 3 days because they don't agree with you on something. It's like you're trying to mold and shape into your image what you think you're God. That your way of thinking is the only way of thinking, and it's the right way of thinking. Who says that your way of thinking is right? Take a good evaluation of your life and say, my way of thinking has got to be really right. Look at the way everything's going. Where is everybody? Instead of taking a good long look and say, Lord, if you don't want it for me, I don't want it. If you don't want me to have it, I don't want it. Instead of getting miserable because God ain't giving it to you. But if we choose to worship Him and grow intimate with Jesus, now there's a whole different thing of having Jesus and knowing Jesus. Knowing Jesus is taking you, when you're taking Jesus with you through your experiences in life, saying, I'm not doing it my way, I'm going to do it his way like he said. That's experiencing Jesus, trusting him through the thick and the thin. Grow into it. Then the clouds will begin to lift as we persevere. Now, this is the problem. We have a set time frame of our perseverance factor. The Bible tells us to be long-suffering. Now, if God is doing a work in us and he's causing us to feel depressed and lonely and tired, he says, yeah, that's because I'm bringing you to the end of yourself. You see, when I bring you to the end of yourself, you're going to grow tired, disappointed, and weary. And then you're going to come to the end of yourself. And then he's going to show us his power. Then slowly he's going to give us his power, and he's renewing our life. But the problem is we don't give him the time that it takes for us to really understand that it's God working now, not me. You understand? We're persevering, we're coming to church, we're coming to Bible study, but we're not giving it a chance for us to really die and for him to build his power through us, spiritually. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because we can only take it for so long. Like, I'll give you an example with my wife. Now, I'm not going to, go too far with it, but it comes to a point where, all right, I'm done. The key's in the ignition, and don't say anymore or I'm going to go off. So now I have my limit. When God's saying, no, the key's still in the ignition, it's on. And it's even trying to stop. And I'm still, and she's still going on and on. And now I have to come to the end of myself, which is a process to let God give me the power, get it? To not react.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, our spiritual...
Oh, really?
It is. But if you think about it, see, we want this mountaintop thing where we can handle it.
Yeah.
But you understand, you handle it a little better every day. Okay?
Yes.
It doesn't go away instantly. See, God does his work in us and through us, but it takes a period of time for him to do that, which America does not like to be patient.
No.
I come to God, I read my Bible. Why ain't it better? Because you're saying, why ain't I better? You're still trying to get better. You're not saying, oh, I'm not dead yet. Here I come back again. Keep rising. No, it's a slow, painful process of crucifixion. And then he raises us up supernaturally. That the same person that you couldn't handle before. Did you say something? No, not in a bad way, where you can actually handle it.
Blocked her out.
No, not blocked her out, blocked out Satan.
Yeah.
Because Satan is working through her, picking at me where my weakness is. You see? And it's always at home, okay? The real you is at home, behind closed doors, or even driving. And God's trying to say, I gave you, that's what I gave you to change you. And you keep rebelling against that person I gave to change you in your life. And I'm saying, really, Lord? I thought the attic was starting to get comfortable. But see, no, I'm trying to bring this into real terms, you see? Because we don't have enough fleshly power to resist the enemy's attack. And I'm going to blame my wife for acting that way, when it's really Satan working through her that she doesn't recognize it, just like when Satan works through me when I'm attacking her back. I'm going after Lori, and Lori's coming after John. Our unity in marriage is what? Getting broken. So now our prayers ain't getting heard. The Bible connects it all together. You can't, it tells us to stay together, two become one flesh. The devil says, no, I'm going to divide you. So, I'm just saying you might not be married, but it doesn't matter. God will send somebody else to do that for, he'll give you a replacement to help change you. But I want you to understand what I'm learning the hard way how this process really works. Where finally I'm like, how come nothing, I'm getting the same and I'm reacting the same? It's because I'm not handling it right. I'm not passing the test and God keeps sending the test. When I start responding right, you know, the yes dear, but really meaning it. Yes dear. Obviously God's trying to show me something, a flaw in my character that she's seeing and telling me about because she loves me. Who else would I trust to tell me something that's wrong with me than my wife? And then what do we say? Nah, you don't know what you're talking about. What about you?
Yeah.
And that, right, it goes like this. Bing, boom.
Yep.
Bounce, there's nothing wrong with me. What about you? Instead of saying, well, thank you for showing me that. I could not see it if God didn't put that into my life for me to see. Remember King David? That little guy kicking dirt at him?
Yeah.
Now, David was living with conviction because he knows what he did, okay? It was killing him. He was going to die to sin unto death, as a matter of fact, because he wasn't turning from it. And this little guy started kicking sand at him, and his right-hand man said, let me kill him. No, God sent him. Let him talk. He knew why he came. Then he finally turned from it. So, if your wife or your husband's kicking sand at you all the time, maybe it's time to take a look in the mirror. Instead of saying, I want a divorce. This is just what people do. We don't get along anymore. Irreconcilable differences. Who? Yeah, no kidding. We all have differences. Is that a grounds for that in the world? Yeah, not in God's eyes. Touchy subject, but truth.
Amen.
Truth.
Yeah.
Back in my day, my mother and father, they hung in through the thick and the thin, through all the things that were going on in life, and they just hung in there.
Yeah.
Because they believed in the sacred vows that they made that before God, for better, for worse, for sickness and health, till death do us part. Remember, God holds them vows to us. Do I make mistakes? All the time. Thank God for the blood of Jesus. But God was always trying to show me something through everything. I was just unwilling. Now, the perseverance is all part of the testing time, okay? Listen. We are being stretched. You ever see that? There's a torture. I don't know what did it. They call it, they used to stretch them.
Yeah.
A little bit at a time.
Yeah.
You know how painful that is? They wouldn't do it all at once, a little bit at a time. They'd stretch them till they just ripped apart. Well, that's what God's doing with us. That's how He's killing us, by stretching us. Now listen though, there's a reason, but it's not in the bad. He's not stretching. Well, He's just trying to kill off our flesh, which is bad. That's what He's trying to do. He's trying to say, I want you to walk in your spirit now, even though you're in your flesh. And I want to give you that supernatural power to do it. Do you want it, is the question. No. It's part of the package of how God plans to train and work through us, bringing maturity and victory. Maturity and victory. Through that. Let's thank God every day that He has stretched us. Because let me tell you something, He's never going to give up on you anyway. You could either enjoy the trip or get kicked or get beat up all the way in. Either way, you can't undo what's been done already. So you might as well, you know what the whole thing it is? Acceptance. The whole key to the whole crux of the matter is accepting that God has put this in my life, and I'm going to be happy either way, because heaven is my home, and though I might have to suffer for a little while, it's for His glory, not mine.
Amen.
That's some big boys and girls stuff to swallow. Why should I have to suffer? I go to Bible study. I serve the Lord. Why should I suffer? I'm supposed to be getting blessed. No, that's not what the Bible says. See, people get the wrong idea why you're doing it. Wrong idea. As a matter of fact, the more faithful you are to God, the more things that might happen, the more pain you might have to go through. It's actually a blessing because you think, wow, God's really using me.
Yeah.
He's making that diamond out of that lump of coal. And boy, is he doing a good job making that ugly piece of coal into this beautiful rock. See, I'm trying to let you see things the right way as we become Christians. Because too many Christians see things, oh, just come to Jesus and everything's going to work out for you. Yeah, it is, but not your way. His way. Even so, Father, it seemed good in your sight. That's a mature Christian right there. That's a mature Christian, understanding that I'm supposed to react like Jesus. This Bible is supposed to train me for that warfare. When I leave here, I have to act His way, not mine. That's maturity. And you know, we're not all there. It's okay. But that doesn't hurt God, it hurts you. God's trying to say, look, I'm trying to give you a rich and satisfying life here, right now, by you saying no to yourself and yes to my ways. Then what? His ways become more attractive to you. Doing the right thing becomes almost like an obsession. You know how you get obsessed to do the wrong thing? You start becoming obsessed to do the right thing. Saying, wow, Satan possessed me before, now I'm being possessed by Jesus, and my flesh is saying yes, but my spirit's saying no, and I'm following my spirit now. Hallelujah! I'm finally following that instead of my evil self. Which some people don't think that they're evil because they don't really see how bad they really are because they never take a look inward. So you can't see how bad you really are, so you don't really need Jesus for the journey then. But to the ones that have been broken and have been all the way down in the pit, Jesus said, why does she love you so much? He said, because she's been forgiven much. So that's why she loves me so much. Somebody that really hasn't went all the way down to the pit really doesn't have that kind of love for Jesus because they're still handling things on their own. So, well, I never went down that far. Yeah. Well, you know what? I pray that you do because that's where you really find Christ.
Amen.
Most people don't find Him. They have Him, but they never get to know Him because they still do things their way because they never really hit a bottom. When you hit a bottom, there's nowhere else to go. You have to look up.
Amen.
There's no more options. That's the blessing for a Christian. To come to the end. Because I've already tried this. I already tried that. I already took this. I already took that. I already bought this. I already bought that. And none of it is working. You finally go, God, help me.
Amen.
You see what I'm trying to say? So the best prayer you can make, if somebody's really not there yet, is that they come to the end of themselves. Because that's where they find Christ. And guess what? So you stay humble, God will keep you coming to the end of yourself while you're here on this journey.
Yeah.
And how many of us still keep coming to the end of ourselves as spiritual kids? We come to the end, Jesus is the one that saves us, and then we take over again.
Yeah.
Then we got to come to the end and go back to Jesus. Come to the end, come back to Jesus. We all go through this process. It's normal.
Yeah.
All right, let's think. He is developing spiritual muscles that we would never have had before. Okay? He's training us in ways. You know when you go to the gym and you work out on the same machine for a long time, what happens? Your muscles get used to that machine and it won't work anymore. It's the same thing with our spiritual walk. He uses the same situation. After you get it, he said, okay, you got it. Now I'm going to stretch you a little more. I'm going to give you some new muscle fiber. This problem. Just like when you go on another machine in the gym. It gets hard and you wake up the next morning. Oh man, I'm sore. That new machine did what it was supposed to do. Well, it's the same in your spiritual life. He's given us something new. Look, once one thing gets conquered, guess what? Here comes the next. And here comes the next. And here comes the next. And we don't realize how many things need to get conquered in our lives. Until we take a good hard look in the mirror and see what's coming out of this mouth. Because what's coming out of this mouth is really what's in my heart.
Yeah. Amen.
That's a big one. When we stop saying, they're the problem. It's you. Not me. I don't have any problems. It's you, 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 and you. God says, no, it's not them. It's you. And I'm trying to show you you through them. You just can't see it. But He opened your spiritual eyes and He's trying to show you. You're just rejecting what He's trying to show you. That I need to make some changes. Just remember one thing. You cannot change anybody. Matter of fact, you can't even change yourself. If you could change yourself, you wouldn't need Him.
Right?
He's the only one that can change what's going on in this mind. He's stretching us. That's why He's permitting whatever trial you might be facing, it's for your good. He says that He's going to work it all together. So do you understand? Look, do you understand what this says? Or do you not? It says He's going to work it all out for good for those that are called according to His purpose, right? That love God. First you have to love God. And are called according to His purpose, He's going to work it all out for good. But if you don't love God, and you're not called according to His purpose, those things ain't going to work out for your good.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you love God even when you don't like what's going on in your life? Do you love God when you're uncertain and your mind's full of doubt and fear? Do you still love God when you're depressed when you wake up? Do you still love God then? Or do you get mad at God and say, why are you letting this happen to me, God? Get quiet. So you know what I'm learning? The problems are really the blessing. Because there's always more problems than blessings. So if I don't shift my mind, I'm never going to sense the blessings because there's always problems. Get what I'm trying to say? The problem is he's taking us to another level. So He's bringing us through problems for a reason to get us to another level. And if we understand that, we can rejoice in it and say, oh, all right, God, what are you going to send my way today? I'm ready. I'm ready to do it your way, not my way. And some people are really stubborn, which happens to be this guy. And I only speak for myself, I'm stubborn. From nature, I'm a stubborn. I don't absorb this very well because my sin nature doesn't like this. But my new nature, you ever read something in the Bible and say, oh, I never read that before? And you read the Bible, you read the same passage like 6